This is Tanveer Mohammed Masood once again, and today I'm going to talk on another very important topic. It's basically about economics. I would be talking about certain concepts of economics which has a direct impact on our day-to-day living, on our livelihood as well. I'm going to discuss and talk on inflation as well as deflation. Inflation and deflation are basically two most important concepts of economics of any country. Inflation basically means a situation wherein the supply of money increases in the economy, but the supply of quantity or the quantity of goods and commodities does not increase at the same level or at the same pace. What it means is that, in very simple words, that there is an inequality, there is an imbalance between the supply of good and the supply of money. In fact, the supply of money or the currencies increases, but the supply of or the production of goods and quantities does not increase at the same pace. Therefore, it creates a gap or imbalance between the two. Now, this inflation can be mitigated, can be removed if we try and produce more quantity of goods. If there is an increase in the manufacturing and production of goods, or the supply of goods and commodities is increased, so as to make sure that the demand of money is made by, or rather the demand is mitigated. Demand of money can be brought to the same level as is the supply of quantity or the quantity of goods and services that can be purchased from those number of monies that has been circulating in the economy, or that has been pumped into the economy. So by producing more and more goods and commodities, by increasing the quantity of goods, we can increase the number of, or rather we can remove this inflationary gap. Now, if we consider the second concept, the concept of deflation, I thought deflation is a reverse situation of inflation. It basically means that the supply of goods are basically increasing, but the supply of money or the currencies are not increasing at the same pace. In other words, there is an inequality, or in fact there is an imbalance between the two. As I said, it's a reverse situation. The supply of money has not increased, but the supply of goods has increased. It means that the economy is producing more and more goods, but it's not being able to pump in the number of currencies or the required number of money that needs to be produced, or that needs to be pumped into the economy so as to meet the growing number of goods that are getting produced day in and day out. So if we try to produce, or we try to pump in more currencies into the economy, this situation of deflation can be mitigated. Well, in real life scenario, every country has to bear a little bit of inflation as well as deflation in its country, in its nation. Every nation has to pass through a certain amount of inflation. No country can be said to be free from any sort of inflationary or deflationary gap. In fact, deflationary gap can be mitigated, but not this gap of inflation that is in there in every developed and developing economy. And the most developed economy in the world cannot be able to, or has not been able to remove this inflationary pressure or inflationary gap on its economy, since it's quite not possible to produce or to meet more and more goods because of various reasons. There are various reasons that is not basically suitable, that is basically a hindrance in the production of more and more quantity of goods. That's the reason why this inflationary gap cannot be mitigated at all. I mean, there has to be at least a minimum level of inflation in an economy. As I said, because there are certain hindrances or obstruction behind the production of more and more quantity of goods in the economy.